This is the first of several videos on Excel that we're going to be needing to look through for our honor statistics course. And so what we're going to do first is we're just going to take a look at some really basic Excel stuff for those of you that have never used Excel before. So for those of you that have used Excel and you understand what a tab is, what a cell is, how to format cells, how to do sorting, and then also how to do some operations like sums, as well as being able to do some sorts and things like that, then you might want to just skip over to the next video. However, if you've never used Excel, this might be a good place for you to start, so that way you can kind of get the idea of, how to use Excel. All right, so I'm going to, what to expect in this video. So we're going to go through, we're going to take a look at what's the difference between a tab and a cell, formatting. In other words, how do we go through and designate the cells as different formats? We're going to take a look at how do you sort information and some of the basic operations that we can do to be able to work with Excel. And we're just going to look at some basic operations. So we're not going to be looking at any programming, and we're not going to be able, we're looking at like, if-then statements or if-else statements or anything like that. I'm going to go to a new chart. And if you look at the very bottom, each of these are tabs. These are different spreadsheets. All right, so these can house multiple types of data for the same population if you choose to. If you want to insert a new sheet, all you have to do is click on this plus. All right, so now we have a sheet 5, as you notice. If you right click, you can delete that sheet as well. You can also rename it. All right, so maybe I wanted to rename this one. I can just right click my mouse, rename it, and I can call it objectives, and I know that I'm looking for the objectives tab. I can name this one, I'm just going to rename it maybe like sandbox, because I know I'm going to go here and I'm just going to work with what's going to be in Excel. So let's say for some reason you just have some numbers in Excel. All right. In fact, you can have some information. So what you can do is just in each of the different cells, all right, and we don't know what's in here, but we can just type anything we want. Let's say for some reason we're making a database, and maybe we have like some last names and some first names, and maybe we have something like the student's major. Right, so maybe we have like some stuff that involves a database of students, and maybe we have their GPA. All right. So I'm just going to type in some fictitious stuff here. So let's just say for last names, I have Smith, I have Jones, I have Green, I have, I don't know, let's see, geez, that's harder just to make up fictitious names. Let's say we have something like Monmouth, and let's say we have House, and let's just have one more in here. Let's just have something like, I don't know, Yards. All right, and first name, John, Jane, Mary, Chris, Jessica, and I don't know, Bonnie. All right, and let's say they have different majors. All right, so let's just say we're looking at, I don't know, let's just take a look at maybe different types of education majors. So maybe we have like, we have secondary ed, and then we have, oh, if I spelled that wrong. So secondary ed, and then maybe we have preschool. And let's see, we have elementary. All right, and let's just say, notice if you start typing it in, it'll actually autofill it for you. So that's really nice. All right. And then finally, what you could also do, well, let's just type in the GPA. So let's just assume everyone's a pretty good student. So 3.55, 3.62, 3.88, 3.88, 3.41, and then maybe 3.12. All right, now, what you'll notice is sometimes that the data is kind of cut off, or maybe it's a little bit difficult to kind of view. So what you can do is you can just kind of grab this. So you can just kind of hold on to it with your mouse, just hold on, click, and you can just kind of drag this, all right? And you can kind of expand it or close it. I'm going to make these bold. So I'm just going to highlight those, maybe make them a little bit bigger up here and then bold it. All right, I can just go to B, make it bold, and I can do this with the last names. And then because I'm obsessive compulsive and everything has to be in order, I'm going to highlight all the data by just clicking on the first cell and just dragging the mouse without releasing. All right, so you can probably hear it. Then I released it when I'm done. I'm just going to center all the data. All right, so Excel is really nice because you can make these spreadsheets of data to be able to house it. All right, so now let's say for some reason I only want the GPA to be accurate to maybe the 10th place. All right, and I'm going to undo this. All right, what I could do is I can highlight the data, I can right click it, and there's this option that says format cells. And what I can do is I can just go to the number. By the way, each cell is default as general. All right, so every cell is going to be general unless you tell it to be something else. I'm going to click on number. And let's say for some reason I only want one decimal place. All right, so I'm just going to click down. I'll click OK. And notice what it does is it rounds it off to the nearest 10th. All right, now I'm going to undo that because I really don't care. All right. So that's really nice. Let's say for some reason I want like a date registered. All right, so another nice thing is that Excel can format in terms of dates. All right, so let's say for some reason, like this person, August 11, 2020. All right, and so what it'll do is it'll auto format it. So 12, 2020, and this one didn't auto format, but that's okay. We'll go through and we will format it ourselves, and let's say 1st, 2020, and August 11, 2020, and August 21st, 2020, and let's say August, let's say 15, 2020. All right, so now we can highlight these, we can right click, and we can format, and we can do date right here. All right, and what you can do is you can select which of the different types of dates you want. All right, so maybe we want everything in this format. So month, day, year. Okay, and I'll click OK. And Excel will do its best to be able to think what you have, but if it doesn't, then you might have to go back and just say 8, 12, 20. All right, and then it'll format it for you. And then 8, 12, 20, 8, 11, 20. All right, so then we have 8, 21, 20, and then 8, and then we have 8, and then 15, 20. All right, and then we can go back and we can try to sort it again, or we can not sort it, but we can just try to make it a date. So we can format the cells in, let's try this form now. All right, and then it goes back to that. And now it still remembers what the year was. All right, so I'm just going to format it again. Let's go this one this time. All right, so the good news with Excel is it'll remember. Even if it kind of truncates data, it remembers what was originally in that set. All right, let's say we want to sort it by last name. So I'm going to highlight all the data, and then I'm going to go to this tab that says data, and then I'm going to sort. Okay, now if you click on this A, Z, it's going to do it in alphabetical order. If you do ZA, it's going to do it in reverse alphabetical order. However, you haven't told which column you want to sort on. So I'm going to click on sort, and I'm going to sort by last name. All right, and I'm going to click on OK. All right, and notice what it did was it alphabetically sorted by last name. All right, now let's say for some reason we have two people with the same last name. All right, so I'm going to change this Monmouth to Smith. And usually the convention is we sort by first name and then by last name, or last name and then first name, etc. So actually, let me go back and change this. All right, so, and I'm just going to cut this. I want to move it, and I want to get rid of this. Don't worry about all that. I'll show you how to do that in a few moments. This is just merely to illustrate the sort. So I'm going to sort again. So I'm going to highlight the data. I'm going to click on sort. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a level. All right, so first what's going to happen is it's sorting it by last name from A to Z. All right, so in alphabetical order. And then I'm going to sort by first name. All right, so that what happens is if two people have the same last name, so there's two people with Monmouth as the last name, Chris should go first and then John should go second. All right, and that's what happened right here. All right, so a lot of times what we like to do is we like to add levels to our sorting. What if we want to sort by GPA? Well, we can go through, we can highlight the data, we can go to sort, and then we can go ahead and delete a level, and we can just sort on the GPA. All right, smallest to largest. Usually with GPA, we probably want largest to smallest. All right, so we're going to look for the people with the highest GPAs. Maybe they're the people we want to identify first to see if there's any sort of trend or pattern. We could sort by date registered. All right, so we can go here, we can go to data, and we can sort, and we can go to by date registered, newest to oldest, oldest to newest. Let's just say oldest to newest, so that way we can see the first and last people to register for our data. All right. All right, so hopefully that's helpful for just a basic overview of a few things. Now we are going to talk about like some of the other sorts of operations we can do a little bit later, but for right now, this is just going through and talking about some basic sorting, some basic cellular operations, etc. One other thing that I'd like to do is I'd like to show you how to cut and paste. All right, so let's say for some reason, and we saw this earlier, maybe I want to take this person and I want to cut and paste them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything. And then usually what I do is I just do Control X, or you can right click on it and you can cut it. And then right here, you can paste it. And the paste options, just paste it, and there we go. All right. Later, we're going to see that sometimes when we have formulas, that we're going to have to paste it as a specific type of cell. But for right now, I think we're okay. All right, so I'm just going to do that again. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to click up here. I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to paste it. There's paste options, but I'm just going to paste it like this. All right, I mean, I could just go ahead. There we go. All right, nice and easy. If I want to delete an entire column, I can just right click on where the column starts, and I can click on delete. All right, let's say I didn't want to do that. I can just undo that. If I want to delete a specific row, I can right click on the row, I can delete, and I can get rid of that. And of course, I can undo it if I don't like that. All right, so Excel's really nice to be able to manipulate your data. And when you're doing any sort of large scale projects, and in my courses, you guys have to do your capstone project, then this might be a good way for you to start organizing and aggregating the data.